of the 1960s. During the 1960s, college students across the country were dissatisfied with issues involving their own rights as students. This started to take momentum across the state of Georgia, where students saw how effective the civil rights movement was, which encouraged them to start their own revolution. Students not only protested at their own campuses on issues, but would eventually branch out to protest and contribute towards other movements. This included the anti-Vietnam War protest movement, equality for homosexuals, and the civil rights movement. Two major groups that were formed within the movement was the Southern Student Organization Committee and Students for a Democratic Society. The group as a whole was also known as the Far Left. Their revolutionary message. The most influential strike that took place during the student movement was in Berkeley, California, at Berkeley College and San Francisco State College. One unified front that was emerging at California State College was the lack of diversity and ethnicity. The Third World Liberation Front, or the TWLF, was established. This group was monumental in creating programs of ethnic studies in different colleges across the nation. Local impact. So how did the group have an impact locally? Originally, students at the San Francisco State College were upset of the hiring of their new college president, Dr. John Summerskill, which is seen right here, who eventually terminated minority professors from the college, as well as dismantled the welcoming of admitting minority student groups in the college. This took place in 1967. In March of 1968, in response, several hundred student protesters on campus peacefully protested against Dr. Summerskill, in accordance to this, Summerskill ordered the campus to be closed, but students still remained in protest. Their demands were to rehire minority professors, as well as allow minority groups to be admitted into the college. Protests would continue on for the next year in the Bay Area, with not only demands being met for the students. The Black Panther Party also got involved with the protests and some of the violence. The movement did not see immediate results for the cause itself, but over time awareness became stronger of the issue, inviting other students to be aware of equality in colleges. And we could see the impact. They copied a lot of protest slogans from the Black Panther Party, which is an original Black Panther fist, and got carried over here. National impact. How did the group have an impact nationally? The student movement gained momentum nationally, even at the high school and middle school level. This can be seen in the court case of Tinker versus Des Moines. Mary Beth Tinker, along with some of her relatives and a friend, couldn't bear to see the amount of soldiers that were being brought home in caskets due to the Vietnam War. After attending the funeral for some of their friends, Mary Beth Tinker noticed that the lost one's family members were wearing black armbands to mourn the loss. She had the idea, along with her relatives, to create armbands and wear them to school. Their intention was to never protest to end the war, but rather to mourn over those dying during the war. On December 14, 1965, the principals of Des Moines School District heard about what was going to take place and planned to suspend the students as soon as they walked on campus, which happened. Over time, Mary Beth Tinker fought for their right to wear the protest armbands, and over the course of 4 years, the case made it to the Supreme Court, which ruled in favor of Mary Beth Tinker and others' ability to wear the armbands. This case was the first civil rights case at the secondary public school level, and many would follow. Originally, the armbands didn't have peace signs, they were just fully black. I had the privilege of meeting Mary Beth Tinker to even further interview over the process, and she basically made it possible for students to wear whatever they want as long as it wasn't a distraction to the majority of students in the school. Global impact. How did the group have an impact globally? Movements that took place during the student movement of the 60s led to other student groups formulating globally. Canada, Student Union Peace Action, and the Company of Young Canadians would eventually protest in 2012, and early on, mainly in the region of Quebec, over student tuition, to lower the student tuition rates. A little earlier than that, in Iran, the Muslim students' organizations fought against the secular influences of the Western education and its secularism in 1978. This eventually contributed toward the Iranian Revolution and the overthrowing of the Shah. Here are my references.